Okay, we are live. Hello, Internet and humans that are watching this. Welcome to another awesome Google Plus Hangout where we talk about small empires. And we're joined by Alexis Ohanian, who is the co-founder of Reddit and the host of the show Small Empires. And along with Stephen Greenwood and Kirk Larson, who I've introduced many times, they are the people that make the show happen.
Six times. Only six.
Only six, sorry. But this is season 2, so yeah. Anyway, so this week, for those that have seen the episode, Small Empires went to August, which makes a Smartlock, which was also designed by Eve Behar, who is a super awesome, well-known designer. Guys, if you want to talk about the episode or sort of say how it went, that kind of thing, because we don't have anyone from the company today, unfortunately, but we do have the people that made the episode.
Yes, and we'll be fielding questions with hashtag Small Empires on Twitter too, so you can get at us.
That's me. Doing an impersonation of you asking us questions.
We should also provide some context. We're actually on the road shooting still. So
I'm in New York in The Verge's office, and they are out somewhere in this country.
In an undisclosed location. If anybody can figure it out.
Where was that?
Bonus points.
So, August, talk about August Smartlock after you shove that grilled cheese into your face.
So, what do you want to talk about August?
So basically, we kind of had some trepidation about doing an episode about San Francisco.
I didn't want to do it.
It was too obvious, I think, for us, right? We thought that the season is about showcasing communities that aren't commonly maybe known by a lot of people for startups. And so we were hesitant to go to San Francisco, but at the same time, we really wanted to do a company that in a space that we hadn't covered before. And hardware was one of those things that a lot of people have been asking us for, and we had been talking about doing for a long time. So we found a great hardware company, August Smartlock.
And they're what, like 2 years old now? Less than that?
Yeah, I think around 2.
Year and change.
Yeah.
How many employees are there at August? Do you guys know offhand?
How many what?
Employees do they have?
They're 30 to 40, right?
30 to 40.
Oh, so it's tiny.
They're based in downtown San Francisco.
Right next to Ubisoft. I showed screenshots of those Assassin's Creed glitches through the windows at Ubisoft. We were next door.
So what was really cool is, when we discovered August, they have a unique story because a guy who has started a couple companies and kind of been through the ringer on a software side, had some success, had some other ones that maybe weren't as successful, decided that he wanted to get into hardware to solve a problem that he was facing personally.
That's a loud car horn.
We're on the street, sorry. And basically, he went out and teamed up with Eve Behar as a co-founder to come together and both share the equity of this company that they would set out to launch together. And that was kind of
how that happened, because you've got to be sort of someone to walk up to a designer of that caliber and say, hey, design my product for me.
So Jason actually, he was the CEO of a couple of really successful companies.
Okay.
And used some of the money from one of the sales of one of his companies to start a thing called Founders Row.
Oh, I did see that. It's in the video.
Kind of just like a place for founders of startups to hang out. And so he pitched the idea for August inside of Founders Row, and a bunch of people were like, hey, that's cool. And Eve was like, yeah, let's do it together.
So Eve was part of Founders Row?
Part of Founders Row, but he got the momentum from the Founders Row thing, and he and Eve had really hit it off at a previous conference. And so they just got to talking. When Jason basically came to Eve and was like, I want to fix keys in somehow, and Eve was like, all right, let's do it. Jason already had the backing, or at least the support of the other folks at Founders Row.
I see. Ryan Manning, edited part of this episode. Do you guys know the story that I'm about to tell? Stephen, have you heard what he said? So right before he sits down to edit, he has all the footage ready to go, and he says he gets a call from his girlfriend that she was locked out of their apartment. Okay?
No.
Goes all the way home, lets her in the apartment, comes back to the office, starts editing the video, And it's
Oh
like,
my God.
what the hell is this? Yeah. Coincidental. Really, really crazy that happened. So, yeah, that's
so-
a cool
That's
aside.
a good moment for August Smartlock. But
Yeah.
I think some of the problems that they're trying to solve are pretty interesting because a lot of what they were talking about is that people might need to let other people into their home for a certain window of time, right? So maybe you have a dog walk, or you have a house cleaner, or a friend just needs to come and stop and get something. You can schedule that in certain windows with certain people and create accounts for your friends and family and stuff so that they have access to your place.
So, what happens if your phone is dead? That's the first question that came to mind, and I'm sure they've addressed it, but I don't know the answer.
But their answer is basically use your key. I mean, honestly, what they said was like you could either walk to a next door neighbor and have them download August, and you can put your access code in, or find a charge somewhere, or keep your key because you can still it doesn't change the lock on the front of the door.
So that thing opens, that like metal case opens.
No, that metal case is on the inside of the house, and the front just looks like a normal lock. So people walking down the street don't know that you have this expensive piece of technology on your door.
I see. But it's like, if you're gonna make the transition to go keyless, then you don't want to carry your keys, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, but frankly, the answer is sorry, you can't use.
Wow.
Which is like, I can't imagine what another answer would be. Like.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oops. Go find a charger. Go to Starbucks.
If there's a battery on the thing and you could pop a charge from it, then that would be kind of dope.
Or if you could get like an external NFC sticker to put on your phone that didn't require power,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be like a fail-safe. But
So you guys mentioned this New York Times article that recently came out. I mean, we're talking about the company as a whole. Talk about that article.
I mean, the article is basically like, this is really cool. This is a really cool product, but it's just like the first version of this product. And so, like, kind of like what the episode was all about, hardware is really hard, and I think it's like, the first iPhone kind of sucked. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool, and it's a cool step, but it's not quite
Right.
the other side of the river.
and they actually spent a lot of time kind of going back from scratch after they initially started designing the lock, because they realized that it needed to be universal. It needed to be able to fit over every type of door lock that's out there. And originally, they were just gonna. I think their approach was that they were gonna have something that you install instead of your existing one.
Right.
You realized that there was too much friction there, and too many people that wouldn't be able to install that in their door. So it had to be something that goes on top of existing locks. So like that was one of the big problems that they solved in their first run through, and I think they did a pretty good job of that, and obviously found a lot of good partners to manufacture the actual hardware in Japan. What was he saying about the motor?
Oh yeah, the motor in it is like
It's unmatched
it's like
for
It's
size.
used in medical devices.
it's for like cutting through bone,
Well, yeah. So yeah, to be both precise and powerful. But in the case of the August lock, it is turning a knob.
Yeah.
But
And he said there's like 100 something.
yeah, it has, right? Because that was it's an interesting engineering problem because every door is different,
Right.
right? Depending on how warped it is, depending on the temperature,
The
depending on
last
the lock.
time you adjusted it.
Last time
Apparently
you opened
doors
it.
can be adjusted.
Yeah, who knew? So it's like, it's superficially, I think, the kind of idea that's easy. Like the New York Times article is pretty snarky. You almost certainly don't need, unless you run a boarding house or bordello, you almost certainly don't need a digital smart lock for your front door. Nor do you find, oh god, yeah, it's like keys are portable, they're durable, they're cheap to replace, and everyone understands how to use them. Yay, keys.
Yeah, the New York Times article was very much like a Luddite salvo, but
Yeah.
it was there are certain points that are true. Like personally, like the amount of times that I have someone coming in unannounced is twice a year. So like I have like extra keys.
Right.
And I run a youth hostel out of my apartment, so
Right.
I could use it.
It would really work.
He takes equity stakes in exchange for founders sleeping on his
Sounds like a good business plan.
Great idea. No, I think it'll be really interesting to see 5 years from now if this. I think it's the kind of product that either really, really succeeds or really, really doesn't.
I personally think that as like batteries and Bluetooth get better, this should
It feels like
more
it should
shit like
happen.
this should be happening.
Yeah, it
But
feels like.
yeah, it's just like my battery on my phone dies in 4 hours, so I couldn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
aren't there more competitors? Like there are other people that are doing this smart
Yeah.
lock thing, right?
Optron.
Honeywell makes one, yeah. August is sort of the most beautiful, and it
Right.
seems like the most designed. So that usually,
They're definitely going the Nest
I was
route.
just gonna say it reminds me a lot about the Nest.
And I think Jason even said that he talked to Tony and
Yeah.
he spent time with those type of people when seeking advice for how to approach the company.
and I mean, I think that the device is really cool. It feels really nice.
Yeah, it looks like just a thick Nest.
Yeah, basically.
So
yeah.
we're kind of at that point with the smart home where I think a lot of people are still trying to figure out what is going to catch, what is just unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because at this point, we're like, we can start putting chips into everything, right? We can make everything connected.
Right.
Do we need
But
to
just
have
how?
everything
You need to
connected?
execute.
No. Yeah.
Right. But it's interesting that you mentioned NFC before because the new iPhones and plenty of Android phones have NFC in it already. So,
Yep.
like.
So it's like far away.
Right. So does this company make money? Are they selling units? What's the deal?
They've sold a good group of units. I mean, obviously they're privately owned, so they're making money. But it seems like
they're in Apple stores. That was a huge win for them, was to get featured in the online and the retail stores in Apple.
Yeah.
And I know that they're definitely working hard to keep up with demand. Sounds like.
Okay.
Sounds like.
I mean, hardware's hard, right? That's like the whole thing.
Totally. That was the pun. Yeah, that was the pun of the episode.
I was really
So
proud of
on that note, let's ask Alexis then. What do you see with people that are approaching hardware, and what do you try to tell them?
To manage expectations for your consumers. That would be the biggest one. And we see, one of the seminal huge hardware pre-order campaigns went through YC. That was Pebble. And though they did end up shipping, it was the biggest Kickstarter to date at that point, though they did end up shipping late, I think by and large their customers were very happy with the product. We're now entering a weird space where you saw that you've got things like the smartwatch which require a ton of good software and good hardware. Then you also see things like what was that cooler called, which is the new most popular Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah.
The coolest cooler.
Do you remember what the hell was it?
It's a cooler with like a fucking Bluetooth speaker and a blender.
So it's like those little the radios that are in hotels that have the iPod attachment that doesn't work on iPods anymore.
Yes.
Okay.
And this cooler campaign a year ago failed miserably, didn't hit its goal. Came up with a much better video. This is all Google. And blew away Kickstarter projects.
$13 million, and they asked for $50,000.
Yeah, 13. And actually, the idea of having a good video influence the way that your company fares is a theme that will arise later in the season.
But so I think we're at a really interesting point where we'll see companies like Pebble, very early stage, very ambitious founders who want to fucking invent the smartwatch and create it, and you're able to create a new market. Then you see others, no offense to the cooler company, but
they want to make
these are all solved problems.
Yeah.
They're just putting them all together.
Right.
But people love it. I don't begrudge them for their success. So we're seeing this whole range, and August is somewhere in the middle here. And for anyone aspiring to do this kind of a hardware making things company, it's a really seductive time, right? You can make an amazing video, raise hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, but still need to fucking deliver on it.
Right, and then they have nothing to show if you don't deliver a fucking product.
A lot of money.
It is not
Kickstarter
easy.
isn't money for you.
Yeah. And I think we're going to see over the next couple of years, we're going to see the fallout of some campaigns doing extremely well and satisfying, and some failing miserably. And I don't think, at the end of the day, it is buyer beware.
That's also not much different than just the world.
It is how things go. It's just now the hype cycle is built, and it's great, but it's built ahead of time before you've necessarily demonstrated you can build it.
Right.
And I've invested in hardware companies that failed miserably. I invested in a precursor to the Jawbone called WakeMate, which was really ambitious, really cool, but failed miserably because they didn't get the hardware right, and they didn't spend enough time doing the diligence overseas, and they were just recent college kids who can can do it. It's just a lot easier when you're only dealing with software because your failure points are a site crashing.
Right.
They're not thing catching on fire or
someone getting injured
or something. Yeah, I mean there's a whole other level of responsibility.
A dime-old cast that is the wrong size.
Right. Yeah. Even just money-wise, it costs a lot of money just to make this jawbone.
But Alexis, that company you're just talking about didn't have a cool Kickstarter video, nor were they on Kickstarter, were they?
No, it was before Kickstarter.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's super ambitious then.
They did a traditional. I mean, they were ahead of the game. It's just timing is a lot of this stuff. But the good news is, as more companies are doing it, they're going to create blueprints for other companies to learn from.
The more people that do this, the more examples and Yeah,
like Eric Mijakovsky, for instance, the founder of Pebble. He's on the Rolodex for anyone who has a successful hardware campaign that they run, because they'll do anything to get 20 minutes just to pick his brain, so he can tell them, don't use this vendor, use this vendor, don't do this, don't do that, and that knowledge is being spread now. So that everyone stands on the shoulders of giants. So that is going to help, but you really, hardware is hard, and I think that is really hard. Terrible. Is it a pun? No, I guess it's just a bad joke.
Ironic.
Yeah, but it is hard.
right.
Hardware is hard. That's
Hardware.
You can't really say software is soft because that's not true at all.
Yeah. But it's exciting because I think it's a Alexis. Yeah, what's up, man?
I love your show. Live on the internet right now.
Oh,
I want to be on it.
Thanks, man. I love your show, Small Empires. On the
Right now, man.
You want to come hang out with us?
Yeah, come chill, man.
All right.
You guys want to chill too? Come on, just grab a chair. Yeah, don't worry. Dude, this was not a plant either.
So this is literally a hangout.
Yeah.
We're just hanging out. What's your name?
I'm Ben.
Okay. Ben, I'm Kurt. Director of Small Empires.
What's up? I'm Alexis, the dude on the other side.
And this is Sam, back at the Verge.
For everyone watching right now and seeing this awesomeness, there are some.
I'll give our location away now.
Yeah,
Someone's wearing a sweatshirt. Show your sweatshirt.
we're on the University of Washington campus.
And this is what happens, I guess, when you hang out on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
University of Washington. All right, so got
Yeah, you've seen Small Empires. Which one have you seen?
I've seen a handful.
There'll be a quiz. Any questions?
Recently, I watched Artsicle.
Oh, right on.
And,
First season.
Season 1, throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I'm just entrepreneurship is something that really interests me. I just love the show, seeing what people are doing.
Right on, man.
Sweet.
So, and then I watched Squarespace too recently.
Oh, yeah.
great story.
Yeah. They've got a business right there.
Yeah.
Printing it.
Yeah.
Printing money.
Okay, so how did you find out about the show?
That's a good
I
question.
had
Can
subscribed.
you hear this, Sam?
Yeah.
I had subscribed to The Verge just on YouTube.
Hey,
Yeah.
everybody should subscribe to the Verge.
Yeah, subscribe to The Verge on YouTube, people.
/The Verge.
The technology reviews, and then I saw Gibson and watched it.
You were like, yeah, this isn't terrible. I'll watch another one. Nice.
Did you know who Alexis was before the show?
No, but I knew
Yes.
what Reddit was.
Okay. That's the more. That's the more important thing now. All right.
Cool.
So cool.
Wow. What we have? Oh, what we're gonna do? We already have that planned out. Damn.
What should we change in the show? What do you think would be fun to do?
Yeah. What's been missing? Yeah.
Anything you think we missed?
You can tell us it's perfect too.
That's a good thing. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's kind of a focus on a lot of like coding stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't really know a lot about that. Like, industry behind my experience. Like,
I think it's a little too insidery for coding.
but that's like the only thing.
Okay.
Like, I can't relate to that too much. But, like, I want to kind of check it out.
Why don't you start learning how to code?
I know that's the real part.
Dude,
I gotta go.
So you want to see what? So this got leaked out a couple days ago. A bunch of this is gonna really hurt. Okay, a bunch of high schoolers have a Facebook group called High School Hackers. They're developers. And they all they go to hackathons together. They build stuff. Maybe it was college. I don't know. Regardless, a bunch of students posted up the internship offers they were getting from tech companies.
Yeah, that was insane.
The monthly internships from all the tech companies you can think of, the Facebook, the Googles, everything. I believe.
You know how much you get paid for a month
A lot.
of being who can code?
Yeah.
$7,500 to $8,000 a month plus
Yeah.
housing.
Yeah.
$7,500.
As an intern.
Yeah. As an intern.
So like I can't stress.
Right? Like learn to fucking code.
I can't stress this enough. Learn to code. Yeah.
You hear that, Internet? The co-founder of Reddit is telling you to learn to code. Listen to it.
I was traveling for like 5 months on a bus telling people to learn how to code, dude. I am. Here
True.
is. Oh, sorry. These are not high schoolers. They're
It's college.
college. Yeah. But yeah, Quora's 8250, Pinterest 7500, Dropbox 8.5. Google's only coming in at 7, but they do include a house stipend.
Some of them provide moving fees.
Yeah.
You know what my internship paid me?
Nothing.
Literally $0. Not even $1 did I make.
Yeah. So again, learn to code. Okay. There we go. But is there? I know we're actually doing this hangout talking about a hardware company.
Yeah.
And why it's even harder than a software company.
There's these people that make this Smartlock. So that when you walk up to your door, the door will just unlock from your phone. Yeah, it's pretty dope. But it's really, really fucking hard to figure
So
out.
is it on? Is it?
You have like there's like an app and it syncs with your phone.
And no, it's when you get close. So okay, so what part of entrepreneurship are you interested in? And do you have any pitches? Run by us. I don't have any pitches yet, but I just really like the idea of like being on like a smaller team, like trying to do something unique and that matters. Like it's easy to get lost like in a big company. Just the sense of purpose and drive and something like you can actually do that might make a difference. And it seems a lot more personal, like the big creating aspect that you guys showcase in the show a lot. It's just something that really appeals to me.
Sweet.
Well, that's the message, right?
Yeah. I hope it convinces you.
Yeah, in the business school at UW, they have an entrepreneurship major and minor, so I'm looking at it.
Or just fuck the business school and just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were a history major.
I was a history major. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I stayed. I didn't drop out. I was too cowardly. Both Steve and I both got our degrees before starting a company.
Yeah, and then fucking 1 year almost to the day you sold Reddit. I read your
Wait, what?
you sold Reddit like right after you graduated college, like within the first year, it's like 100 days or
It was
something.
a year and a half later.
A whole year and a half.
Oh, only a year and a half. It's good. So stay in school, build something awesome while you're in school, and then sell it, and then you're good.
Yeah. That could, or just run it for the rest of your life and just hang out and enjoy working on a cool team.
True.
That's the best part. Honestly, I think the fact that you get to choose who you work with is so rare. And I had enough jobs growing up working for people and with people who I didn't respect. I'm keeping it real. I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
Know who you are. But like that's the biggest gift that I feel like.
Right. I think that's why Reddit sort of grew into what it was, right? Because like you and Steve effectively are Reddit. Like it is a product, it is your child, and that's and you guys are good people, and the product is humongous and awesome.
Steve's a hell of an engineer. That's for sure. You guys should do. I'm just spitballing now. The Verge should do a series. This might be too in the weeds. You might hate this, but of profiling all these engineers in tech, because all of the CEOs get all the FaceTime, but all the engineers are the ones.
I know. It's like who is actually building the product? The CEO is just.
It's like 15 dudes in this really dark little zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really hope it inspires folks to do cool shit. So you got to go do it now, and then when we're season 7.
Yeah, season 7.
We're all freshmen, so
Okay.
2019, somewhere.
Yeah, that was season 7-ish. Yeah. We'll still be doing this.
All right. Yeah. What are you guys doing in Seattle?
It's secrets. These guys can't
I'll tell
know.
you.
I mean, can we just give it away for the people that are watching this, or do you guys not want to do that?
All right, for the people watching this, it's going to be our biggest company that we cover this season.
Huge
Oh
company.
shit.
Very
Giant
big company.
empire. Legitimate empire.
They've already IPO'd and have over 1,100 employees,
Their value is $4.7 billion.
and they've acquired a handful of companies, a lot of companies.
They let you do some creepy shit when you're at your neighbor's house.
They're Zillow.
And I just Zillowed this restaurant.
Yeah, they're the real
That's not
estate
true,
company where you
but-
can look up how much any house costs.
They recently acquired Trulia, right?
Right,
no,
it's not
they're
finished yet.
announced
They're
it.
doing it.
Yeah, they're working through it.
But yeah.
So that'll be episode 9 in a few weeks.
Yeah, episode 8's a fun one, but we're not going to tell you what that is.
Oh man! If you follow me on Instagram though, you already know what episode 8 is.
Building hype. It's good.
Follow me on Instagram.
On that note, we got to get back on the road. We got to keep shooting.
We got some interviews to do.
Yep.
Good to talk to you, Sam.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Bye, Internet.
Internet, we'll see you next week. The next show. Go watch Small Empire. Subscribe to The Verge on YouTube. All that good stuff. Peace.